That's scary enough already. Your BlackBerry isn't secure. If you have a wireless internet connection, that's not secure either. The door to both is wide open to hackers. How do we know this? Defcon says so, a prestigious international conference that attracts the best hacking talent in the world. Tech experts like Jesse Hirsh pay very close attention to this. Jesse, tell all. Why are they, first of all, why are they telling all? Do they want us to know?
Well, I think they just assume people are going to find out anyway. Certainly this conference has just as many hackers as law enforcement and officers, intelligence establishment, military people. This is really the bazaar in which they all come together to talk about, you know, how their prowess and really how incredible the security that we think is secure is actually not secure at all.
So they're really kind of issuing a challenge, too.
Well, and trying to say, look, we are the best, and they have contests in which they try to prove who is the best hacker, who is the best defender in this particular case.
So, is the BlackBerry in danger, other than being in danger with every woman whose man has a BlackBerry? Is there another danger?
Well, what they demonstrated, which is actually quite alarming, I think, for all BlackBerry users, is that BlackBerries can now be used to break into any corporate system. So, for example, the CBC, if a reporter has a BlackBerry, somebody could send that reporter an email, and via an attachment in that email that no one would know about, then gain access to the entire broadcasting network. And it's these types of hacks, which are sensational and alarming, that I'm sure people over at Research in Motion are trying to figure out how to prevent, that make this particular Defcon conference so noteworthy, because, again, this type of demonstration shows there is almost no security, even though we spend so much trying to secure things.
It is a challenge. So you can have a firewall on a corporate computer.
And this goes right around
it.
Because, well, most people tend not to put the BlackBerry behind the firewall.
Can you do it?
Well, they could, but nobody does. So now, of course, people will try to do that, although they found ways around that again. It's all sort of trying to find the back door or to slip under the curtain amongst all the firewalls that are set up.
Sure. Passports.
Well, passports increasingly are going to become linked to our biometric identity, and they'll have something called an RFID tag that sort of, when you go to the airport or you go to customs, says, I am Jesse Hirsh.
Like a can of peas.
Right. So one of the things they demonstrated at this conference was how to spoof or essentially fraudulently create a false RFID tag. So I could go through the airport and say, hi, I'm Lynne Russell. And instead of it being Jesse Hirsh, that easily makes different people who would have, let's say, criminal records or would have different reasons for them not to be crossing borders to use innocent identities to get through, which again throws holes through all of our notions of security.
So how does that affect the average person? Is that more of a threat to
the average consumer? This is all generally over their head, and they're not so much affected by this. But this is why the government attends these types of conferences quite out in the open, because it is a challenge between the black hat hackers and the government agencies to try to one-up each other to see who can get the better hand.
Defcon. I have the vague memory of Defcon from a movie. Why did they name the conference Defcon?
Well, for its military phrase. It's defense condition. So here they're saying, you know, the defense condition of the internet is zero. There isn't any. We can get by anything you put up there. And it is a very sort of macho brag, but at the same time, they demonstrate it to be true, which is why so much attention is put on this conference.
Is it mostly men?
It is a lot of men, but there are a lot of women there too who are just as powerful and just as interesting. But I think when you go to these types of conferences, the level of testosterone, the level of putrid
sweat, you have to open a window.
It kind of turns away a lot of the women, a lot of the other people who might be interested in this subject matter.
Why are you interested, Jesse?
Well, I'm interested because I'd like to find how the world works. I like to know about these back doors, and perhaps I won't take advantage of them, but I like to know that they're there, to also warn people against them.
Oh, Jesse, thanks for being with us and sharing that. And oh, there's so much more to learn.
Thank you.